Oh, Pearson gets into the 95 of Bolts. Here comes the caution.
Flag is dropped here at Daytona, and away we go for the first time. Nicholas Porcel, Sean.
Looks like most get through unscathed. Look at that, there's Reed Gibson. A big move at the inside line of Dom's, possibly a little bit of contact.
Now, as we've got three wide action going through turns 1 and 2.
And they're underway. Eric Hahn takes a nice jump. Wilson hasn't let him go very far.
Let's go out here for Circuit Spa Francorchamps. Alex Johnson's off to a brilliant start there.
Just how oddly shaped this one is. We saw in the background Eric Hahn go for a bit of a swing, and he's gone and he's over.
New stuff. Cody Graham's the one-on-one up into second place. Alex Johnson 6/10 lead at the moment.
They're dicey up front. There's Andrew Kessel, Justin Sang.
They are ready to go. The lights are out, and away we go for the very first time here at Oklahoma International Circuit. Finley Fitzsimmons.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to the Brobst Enterprise Truck Series here at the Backmarkers Racing League. We are in Alabama, the Talladega Super Speedway, as we get ready to send these Titans out on track. I'm your host, James East, with Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, bringing the action 1080p, 60 frames a second. As we get ready, qualifying is just about done for the night, and it is going to be another good one. As always, thank you to the friends, fans, and family coming out supporting the league, supporting the drivers, as well as the Brobst family coming on as the title sponsor. Let us know where you're from, who you're cheering on. As already we're seeing some fans show up. I see John DeTalent cheering on Ty on the number 29 machine, as it looks like drivers starting to get set here for the grid. Let's go ahead and run you through the starting order. On pole, it's Michael Gudger in the number 64 machine. Blake Hoppy starting second. Kenny Troughton starting third. Dustin Bali starts fourth. Michael Boyle starting fifth. Corey Harville starts sixth. Ryan Nardone starting seventh. Josh Morrow starting eighth. Belshaw starting ninth. Tyler DeTalent starting 10th. Jackson Samsel starting 11th. Brian Brobst starting 12th. Cycled on back, we got Nick Seraph starting 13th. Thomas Harkins starts 14th. AJ Maglio will round out the 15 truck grid here today, as it looks like we've got just about everybody except for Ryan Nardone and AJ Maglio making their way onto the grid. As we're waiting for a few more drivers to make their way out onto the grid. And it looks like John DeTalent cheering on Tyler DeTalent. Supporting from southern Indiana, a beautiful part of the country. As it looks like the field is out on track. Finally, we're getting ready to get this party started. So again, it's going to be Michael Gudger, Blake Hoppy, your front row. Kenny Troughton, Dustin Bali, your second row. Michael Boyles and Corey Harville will be your third row. Now, talking to the drivers before tonight's show, they're letting me know it's anywhere between 25 to 30 laps is the fuel window we're seeing out of these drivers. Now, that can be very dependent as well if you're out front pushing air all by yourself, or maybe if you're kind of tucked in behind the draft here. So it's going to be interesting with a smaller field, 15 drivers. We may see the green flag runs becoming a factor. Hopefully we can get some green flag pit stops here tonight. As we follow that iRacing safety truck around the high banks of Talladega Super Speedway. Now this track, you can almost go 3-4 wide at points very comfortably without getting too up close and personal to the driver to your left and the right. It'll be interesting to see who's going to be maybe willing just to follow along and make it till the end, and who's going to try and push hard early here at the Brobst Enterprise Truck Series. The safety truck's coming down pit road. The start's going to be on Michael Gudger in that 64 machine. The purple and yellow LSU back Chevrolet. And we are green flag racing here at Talladega. Looks like for the most part, drivers comfortably holding their line. Nobody hopping out of formation. It's Gudger on the low line, Hoppy up high. They've got Trouton and Boyles behind, but it looks like Trouton in that number 25 Ford F-150 getting a big run on the inside line. He's getting pushed by Michael Boyles in the 22 on the high side. Looks like Bally. No, it's not Bally. That's Hoppy charging back, so live timing shows him as the number 15. The truck's got 31 on the side, so maybe having the wrong transponder in that machine. And I would not be surprised if some of the drivers are going to kind of play it easy here. You can see Thomas Harkins, that number 37, lagging around a little bit at the back, as well as Nick Seraph, kind of keeping themselves out of the danger zone. And the inside line really forming up. Hoppy leading the high side with number 21 of Dustin Bally behind, losing speed here. As you can see, Ryan Nardone in the 28 charging up in the field, but it's going to be Kenny Trout, the number 25, looks to be taking over the race lead about 0.07 of a second ahead of Michael Boyles. And we're starting to get some drivers swapping around up front. Now it's going to be Kenny Trout leading the field. We got somebody 3 wide. Is that Gudger, I believe, in the middle? No, now he hops back in the low. That was Michael Boyle squeezed in the middle. And we are 3 wide and 3 rows deep here at Talladega. Gudger on the middle line. Hoppy up high. Dustin Bally down low is going to take over that second place spot. They are bobbing and weaving very early on here. Look at Michael Boyle shooting up the middle. Gudger on that inside line, easy to spot the purple and yellow. We briefly go 4 wide as we got a driver off on the apron, bailing out of it here, saying, you know what, we're only 3 laps into this main event. I'll let you guys sort this out. I want to get to the end with a clean truck. That's Michael Boyles squeezed in the middle. Blake Hoppy up on the high side, but Michael Gudger getting that hearty push from Kenny Trouton, pulling back ahead, keeping the inside line moving. Now Tyler DeTalent, that number 29 machine, our hard charger so far, he's very quickly gained 6 positions. As it looks like after those couple of laps of 3 wide shenanigans, driver's gonna maybe calm down a little bit. Now coming into tonight, with the 2 drop weeks accounted for, it's Ryan Nardone, your current points leader, the number 28. With Tyler DeTalent second in points, Brian Brobst third in points. Now that again includes their 2 drop weeks that they have. As we saw the position shuffling around here. Oh, that's Blake Hoppy, I think, blinking in the number 15, way up high. The other driver's probably letting him know over the radio that he's got a bit of a connection issue. So you can see he very wisely and respectfully hops out of the groove. It's very tough on iRacing if the driver in front or beside you suddenly disappears like that. They can reappear about halfway into your truck And that would be a very easy way to clean out a large portion of the field as you see Blake falling way down the standings. Thomas Harkins doesn't seem to be in a big hurry, but he is doing a great job staying within the draft of Ryan Nardone's 28 machine. So the three biggest drivers losing ground, Blake Hoppe, Ryan Nardone, Thomas Harkins, are down at least 7 spots from where they qualified. But again, they're kind of out of the vortex of danger here. Now, are we going to get the green flag run we're looking for, or is there going to be a bit of an early caution? Seems like the drivers have calmed down a little bit here. Hopping in single groove, it's Gudger, Trout, and Morrow, that top three running nose to tail, but AJ Maglio still in the mix. He's up 11 spots in the 03 Ford F-150. Ryan Brobst, the number 11, he's up 7 spots running 5th on the live timing tower. And amongst us iRacers, generally the joke is, you know, let's just kind of get through this thing and then we can all crash our trucks together with about 10 laps left to go. We're on board the number 29 of Tyler DeTalent. Up on that outside line, a big run, catching up to the back of Josh Morrow's 98 machine. So DeTalent's going to be second in line on that inside position. You can see him kind of looking for a little bit of clean air here. As the number 25 of Kenny Trouton goes high to stall the momentum of that big run. A little bit of bobbing and weaving there. I think that may have been Maglio's 03 machine. He saw looking for an opening. Yes, it was the Wonder Bread backed forward. He was looking for an opening up on the high side. He's still tucked in behind Gudger, but wasn't able to find the opening he was looking for. Listening to his spotter saying, hey, not quite able to squeeze this off. As we're getting a little bit more racy up at the front, it's Trouton and Morrow side by side. Gudger DeTalent right in tow, pushing the leaders in their respective lines. Oh, here we go, 3 wide once more. It's Trouton, Gudger DeTalent. DeTalent looks to be doing well on that middle groove. He's got the 23 machine of Corey Harville. Haven't talked about Harville much tonight. He qualified 6th, currently 5th out on track. And Michael Gudger back out front, but here comes Blake Hoppe. He's got that connection issue restored, diving down the inside line, but look at the 3 wide right behind him. Josh Morrow squeezing in the middle, comes across the nose of DeTalent. They're both into the wall, but there's not going to be a caution. Not considered a wreck, but that has huge implications for Morrow and DeTalent. As the field checks up here, but it doesn't look like we're going to have a caution. Blake Hoppe is going to keep the hammer down, getting a push from Kenny Trouton. Oh, absolutely gutting for Talent and Josh Morrow. Now, Morrow was 11th in points, so he's not in too rough a shape here, but DeTalent is going to have his work cut out for the rest of the evening. Josh Morrow has come down pit road to try and get those damages repaired. Gudger's still leading the outside line. Got the number 11 of Brian Brobst tucked in behind, giving a hearty shove. But so far tonight, it looks like an inside line dominant track. Now Josh Morrow is going to roll out of pit road after 14.8 seconds. So that looks like a 4-tire and fuel stop. Now drivers do have one fast repair, one get out of jail free card, if you will. And it looks like that is what Tyler DeTalent's going to use here. He's down pit road. I was hoping DeTalent was going to be able to hold on to that draft pack just a little bit more easily, but not having any such luck with it as he rolls down pit road all on his lonesome. A little bit of bobbing and weaving there from Kenny Trout, and I wonder if he got maybe a push from Gudger that wasn't quite square as we go 3 wide and 2 rows deep here up front, the high banks of Talladega. Gudger hops out of line, looks to shoot the middle. Dustin Bally up on the high side. Looks like he's going to get credit for the lap led. Yes, he is. But as the lead pack is 3 wide, they're approaching lap traffic. That is going to be, I believe, Josh Morrow. And Dustin Bally is going to be the first to have to cut through here. So you're going to see that field maybe try and condense down to 2 lines. Yep, that's exactly what they're going to do. Oh, the closing speed extremely. It's about 15-mile-an-hour difference. Lap traffic holds the inside line. Oh, and here we go. Surely this is going to be a caution. That was Bob Belshaw we just saw. And that crash took forever to happen. Kenny Trouton also involved in that one, so let's get that replay queued up for the fans at home. We're going to have to back this up because this crash took a long time to develop. Let's focus in first on the number 21 of Dustin Bally. He was stuck behind traffic here. Wondered if he tries to go high and catches a little bit of net code. You can focus on the number 21 machine. I think it's a raciness between the two. The number 21 of Bally goes up just ever so slight. The number 25 of Trouton comes down. That crash took a long time to finally come to fruition. And poor Brian Brobst. Excuse me, luckily for Brian Brobst, able to get through that. Relatively unscathed. Let's see how bad the damage is going to be here as he tags the 25 machine. Avoids the 25, but then gets a little bit of a helping hand from, I believe that may be going the 30, 37. That's going to be Thomas Harkins. But thankfully for these drivers, they do have that fast repair in the back pocket. Ryan Nardone is going to lead the field down pit road. Now, this could be a bit of a saving grace for Tyler DeTalent and Josh Morrow, who were involved in that early incident as we are under our yellow flag for the first time here this evening. So Dustin Bally stays on pit road for about 1:05, at least in his pit stall. So trying to get some damages repaired. Maybe trying to save that fast repair. And yeah, gotta agree with John DeTalent here. Definitely is gonna help out Tyler DeTalent a little bit, as it looks like everybody's gonna be on the same lap. So Ryan Nardone, Michael Boyles back down pit road for more repairs. While these guys are cycling under eye-pacing conditions, we're going to leave the camera on, and I'll be right back after grabbing a quick bit of water here up in the broadcast booth. All right, we've got our water, we got our cough drops, we're ready to go back racing. As the field is getting set, double file on the front row, it's going to be Bob Belshaw, Thomas Harkins, Corey Harville, Michael Gudger will be your second row, and Blake Hoppy and AJ Maglio will be the third row. Looks like all 15 drivers still out on track. As we get ready to fire them back up, it's going to be on Bob Belshaw. And we are green flag racing once more here at the Brobst Enterprises Truck Series at the Backmarkers Racing League. Oh, we had somebody not get a good start. I think that was Thomas Harkins getting a dismal start, number 37. I wonder if he missed a gear, as the field kind of scattering around here as the outside line did not get any momentum at all. Hopefully Harkins isn't driving with damage, or he's going to have a very long night ahead of him, as we've got 40 laps left to go. The top two, Michael Gudger, Blake Hoppy running exactly where they qualified. But third and fourth, Brian Brobst, Nick Seraph are both up 9 positions from where they started. So having a good, strong early race here. Now Bob Belshaw in the 44 did not opt to come down pit road during that cycle. So both him and Thomas Harkins are on an alternative strategy here. Not sure if I agree with that. Maybe they're banking on another caution, but that's going to put them coming down pit road around, between lap 28 and 30. As Blake Hoppy hops out of line once more, no puns intended there. And now it's going to be Brian Brobst, Nick Seraph battling for the lead. Brobst on the low line in the Chevy, Seraph on the high line also in a Chevy. Second row is going to be Michael Gudger, Jackson Samsel, giving a hearty shove to the wily veterans here. So it's still Brobst and Seraph side by side for the race lead. Jackson Samuel and Michael Gudger giving hearty shoves to those drivers up front. But how much patience does the field have as there goes Nick Seraph. He's going to drop down low just ahead of Brian Brobst. Michael Gudger in third. I think that's going to be Jackson Samsel up on the high line. But no, the field already out of sorts there again. And Brian Brobst going to make another good punt up to the front. This time getting pushed by Michael Gudger. And now Michael Gudger is going to take over the race lead, the 64 machine. Everybody's got to be careful here as Jackson Samsel showing ahead by about 0.08 of a second. Now it's Kenny Trout, the number 25 machine. You see Michael Gudger hopping back on the inside line. I just saw a big run there from Thomas Harkins. Looked like he was doing it solo. Really didn't have much help. Gudger hops back in the middle line, a bit defensive. The number 23 machine of Corey Harville. Gonna make his way around Thomas Harkins. And let's see if we can get an onboard here of Kenny Trout. Of how aggressively he is pushing Jackson Samsel in the 57. We'll give him a little bit of breathing room, get some clean air on the front of the number 25 machine through the tri-oval. Gives them another little bump there before they even make it to turn one. This is a lot of trust in your competitors at speeds in excess of 190 miles an hour. And this is definitely a game of chess. One little mistake is very, very easy to have yourself wadding up a perfectly good race truck as well as all of your friends. But these guys are some of the best in the business on iRacing. As you can see how tight the field is here. All 15 drivers in this pack. Jackson Samsel still leading the charge here. Keep an eye out though on Michael Gudger in the 64, who's definitely got some pace here as we're going to hint at 3 wide action once more. That was Michael Boyles up on the high side. No, excuse me, that was Corey Harville in the all-black number 23 Chevrolet. A predominantly Chevy field here tonight. We've got 2 Fords with Kenny Trout and AJ Maglio. 1 Toyota with Dustin Bally. Other than that, you've got 12 Chevrolets out on track. Kenny Trout and Jackson Samsel side by side. About 5 more laps till you'll see the crossed green and white flags. Kenny Trout, Michael Gudger still side by side. That's Nick Seraph, Brian Brobst. Right now, Seraph. Oh, something has happened. I think that is going to be Hoppy. Maybe, I can't quite tell. Somebody had a hardware malfunction there. Live timing was losing its mind rather briefly. So it's Gudger, Trout up front, Brobst, Seraph, third and fourth. Again, Brobst and Seraph, both up 9 positions as we're going to take it 3 wide once more. Michael Gudger squeezed in the middle here, doesn't have that much draft support. And Kenny Trout, with the help of Nick Seraph, gets a huge run on the inside line. You've also got Jackson Samsel in the mix. Seraph, who's taken over the race lead by 0.03 of a second. Let's see, does he get credit for the lap led here? Yes, he does, with about an 800th of a second advantage over Michael Gudger. But that's also going to put Seraph as your race leader and hard charger up 12 spots. And this is good, tight racing. Again, the entirety of the 15 truck field. All here. You can see a little bit of a lag between Blake Hoppy, and Thomas Harkins. They've fallen back ever so slightly, so they're going to try and catch back up to the draft off the lead pack. On that lap, drivers were again hitting speeds of about 191 miles an hour. Check in on Brian Brobst. Second in line up on the high side. That's Michael Gudger, 64 just ahead. Always easy to spot the LSU back machine. And look at the shove there from Brobst. Trying to get the young Michael Gudger a little bit further forward into the fray, but Nick Seraph is going to hold that bottom line very defensively. Trying to make these other drivers take the long way around. But Gudger fires right back. These guys just can't get away from each other. And this is what we've come to see each and every Tuesday night here at the Brobst Enterprises Truck Series. I've lost count. I mean, we've had 15 racers out on track. We must have had 10 different leaders at this point. Michael Gudger up on the high line. But Nick Seraph's got a big run up the inside. Now, going to be interesting to see. So, again, Bob Belshaw and Thomas Harkins have yet to come down pit road. They are getting mighty close to the fuel window here. The rest of the drivers, just about the entirety of the field, came in on lap 14 or 15. Their fuel window is going to open up again in about 10 laps around lap 39. And it's going to close around lap 44. So we're expecting one more stop in this race, barring any sort of cautions. It looks like Nick Seraph is going to fall back a little bit. I'm wondering if some of these guys are getting set up for a green flag pit stop. Yeah, I would not be surprised to see some of these fast drivers maybe communicating with teammates who are off strategy, saying, you know what, I'll go for a bit of an undercut here. Let's get some clean track work together. Now, Kenny Trout is going to enjoy the clean air on the front of the number 25 machine with Michael Boyle tucked in behind, as well as Jackson Samsel. Michael Gudger leading the charge. Michael Boyle showing second. Kenny Troughton third. Brian Brobst, Jackson Samsel rounds out the top 5. Going to be interesting here. We know everybody inside the top 9 is pretty much on the same fuel strategy. Josh Morrow, he in the number 98, he's sitting 8th. He came down pit road on lap 8. We are just past the halfway mark here at Talladega. Bob Belshaw coming down pit road by his lonesome for a green flag stop. Thomas Harkins has fallen back slightly. I would imagine we're going to see that 37 machine also coming down pit road in the not so distant future. Thomas Harkins staying out a little bit longer, staying right at the tail end of that field. It looks like the lead pack starting to file down single file slightly, so I'm wondering if we're going to see some green flag stops here soon from the majority of the pack. .25 laps left to go here at Talladega. You can see these drivers playing a high risk game of Snake. Everybody trying to find a drafting dance partner, tucking in behind the line. It's still Boyles, Troughton, Gudger, Samsel, Seraph, your top 5, but Brian Brobst, AJ Maglio, Josh Morrow, Corey Harville. I mean, there's so many drivers. I mean, we've got 14 drivers on the lead lap and all within the draft here. I would not expect to see any crazy moves to about 10 laps left to go, but between now and then, we're expecting one more green flag stop. Troughton, Michael Gudger on that inside line. You could just see Brian Brobst sliding up in the mix as well. That number 11 also on the inside, while Michael Boyles, the 22, leading the charge up high. Again, we're all waiting with bated breath. The field is definitely trying to get single file on that inside line. You see the number 11 of Brian Brobst. He's staying out there on the high side. That's Josh Morrow, the number 98 machine, who's going to accompany him. But Michael Boyles is going to lead this thing, the number 22 machine, with Jackson Samsel and Nick Seraph tucked in behind. Now, Thomas Harkins rolling out of pit road after his solo green flag stop. There's lap traffic. That is Thomas Harkins rolling back onto the racing line. As, the closing speed difference, just about 20 miles an hour difference. as Thomas Harkins is going to fight very quickly to get, it's almost 30 miles an hour difference. Thomas Harkins is going to fight to get back in the draft with that lead pack. I can tell you as a racer myself, even a 10 mile an hour difference as the field comes around you in real world applications can be a bit scary. So 30 miles an hour with an absolute freight train of truck drivers has got to be next level. We've whittled it down to 13 drivers on the lead lap. Thomas Harkins, Bob Belshaw find themselves down one lap. We got Michael Keithley join us in the spectator area, another super speedway racing connoisseur. Let's see, is Boyle's going to lead the field down pit road? You can see some drivers hinting at it, but nobody wants to come down pit road by themselves. Now this green flag stop, once we get to it, I think is going to be pretty exciting. But you're going to have about 13 drivers, I would imagine, come down pit road all together as we catch more traffic. That, I think, is going to be Bob Belshaw, who is going to go down another lap here. So Belshaw is hoping for a caution, that 44 machine. Now, he had a very long pit stop on lap 31. He was in a stall for 40 seconds, so we think he may still have a fast repair in the back pocket. And man, the field just keeps hinting at it. Boyles will kind of drop those left tires near the yellow line. Almost looks like he's signaling to come down pit road and continues to stretch it out just a little bit longer. Now Boyles came back down pit road a second time on lap 15, I would imagine for a little bit splash of fuel. While the majority of the rest of the field down pit road on lap 14. So I don't know if that extra lap of fuel would be negated since he's been pushing the air all by his lonesome out front. But Josh Morrow saying, you know what? Maybe it's time for somebody else to lead this. And Brian Brobst giving that 98 a hearty shove up towards the front. But Morrow and Brobst have to be careful here, especially Morrow, who came down pit road on lap 10. Could find himself needing to come down pit road, and the inside line would just be absolutely covered with trucks. They'll stay out once more. It's going to be 17 laps left to go as they cross the line. Oh, we got some bobbing and weaving going on. Oh, some huge blocks being thrown as there's contact. That looked like that was Josh Morrow getting into the side of Kenny Trouton's 25 machine. Brian Brobst also in the danger spot as he's up high. Morrow gets that truck back under control, thankfully. But we talked about Morrow could be short on fuel compared to the rest of the drivers. There's more contact. But I believe that was Kenny Trouton, maybe. I think that might have been Ryan Nardone. No, that was Michael Gudger. And the goodness gracious, Gudger in the 64. Now again, we know Morrow is going to be about 4 laps shorter on fuel than the rest of the field. So he's got to be getting dangerously close to the closure of that pit window. Excuse me. Sorry, a bit of a coughing fit up here in the booth. Oh, and as I do that, what about that for timing? Blake Hoppy, Nick Seraph involved in that one. Not seeing a caution come out of Seraph trying to get it fired back up, but we have just whittled down the field here. And let's get that replay queued up. Nick Seraph, definitely getting the worst end of that deal on the 523. Oh, just gets absolutely obliterated. That was the 03 of AJ Maglio getting to the side of Seraph, but this is going to be, oh, there's the caution coming out. So a delayed caution. And that is exactly what Seraph needed. That's also going to possibly put Thomas Harkins back in the mix. And a late race caution is going to throw an interesting situation. Now, I just thought I heard somebody blowing up. Wasn't quite sure who that could have been. And it's going to be Brian Brobst leading. I think the entirety of the field is going to come down pit road. Oh, what happened? Josh Morrow going involved in another crash. I wonder if that was him and let the magic smoke out. Thought I heard somebody blowing up. But it looks like Morrow just kind of pulls over and says, you know what, guys, I've had enough. I'll see you at the next one. And then takes a tow back to pit road, signaling the end of the night for the 98 machine. Brian Brobst down pit road. Now Thomas Harkins is going to stay out in the 37 to get a lap back here and get back in the hunt. Yeah, we got Michael Keithley asking, going, what? No caution for that? And I got to say, I was a bit surprised by that as well. And yes, the series is using iRacing cautions here at the Brobst Enterprise Truck Series. So this is going to be an interesting shootout. It's going to be about 11 laps left to go as we have rebunched the field here. And Brian Brobst, an extended stay on pit road, 24.6 seconds, maybe getting some repairs done on that machine. That's going to put, if Blake Hoppy can get back on track, that's going to put 13 drivers on the lead lap. So let's see how this is going to be. Jackson Samsel, Tyler to Talent. We talked about how we needed a caution early in this race. Now he's back on the front row. Kenny Troughton and Michael Boyles will be your second row. Corey Harville, Michael Gudger, your third row. And yes, it looks like it's going to be 13 drivers in the lead lap. 14 drivers total still on track with Josh Morrow. I don't know if he's going to be able to get back. He took a tow back to pit road. I don't think he's going to have enough laps to get back in the mix here, even if this turns into a bit of a caution fest. On to Talent, cheering on that number 29, Goodwrench, back Chevrolet. He's going to be starting on the high side. He's got that clean air ahead of him. But something has happened to Bob Belshaw. He goes off track, takes a tow back to pit road, so he's going to be retired out of this one. Ace truck is in. This could be the final restart of the night after our second caution. And we are green flag racing once more. To Talent didn't quite get the start that he was looking for. Jackson Samsel, a big run. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Now, cautions breed cautions. We've got the field stacked backed up. It's going to be 10 laps left to go. I think some of the drivers are going to hang back here, expecting another big incident by the time it's all said and done. And big thanks to John and Talent as well, giving a thumbs up to the broadcast crew. Provided by TeamBoonSquad.com. But back to the action is Samsel. Troughton on the inside line to Talent with Michael Boyle still up on the high side. We're too wide, about 4 rows deep here. Ten laps left to go as they cross the line, and we're hinting at some 3-wide action. Will we make it 4 by the time it's all said and done? The Talent leading the field. No, it's going to be Jackson Samsel on the inside line by just a nose here, heading through turns 1 and 2. That third line not quite getting formed up. It's still going to be a 2-line rodeo as it stands. You can see a bit of bobbing and weaving there. Nick Seraph, the 523, tries to get that Bass Pro Chevrolet back tied in. Number 22 of Michael Boyles giving a big shove to Tyler to Talent. Talent showing ahead by about 0.05 of a second, barely a lead. And Michael Boyles all over the back bumper, pushing the Talent across the start-finish line. 9 laps left to go. This is where things are getting a little bit hairy for our drivers, knowing they are running out of time, trying to make some quick alliances. Oh no, it's a huge incident. Michael Boyles gets obliterated. I think I just saw Jackson Samsel going for a ride. Nick Seraph also tied up in that. I think it started with Mr. Jackson Samsel in the 57. That's going to bring out the caution for the 3rd time. So keep an eye on the 57 on the inside of your screen. Oh, the 523 just barely taps the 22 of Michael Boyles. Boyles gets absolutely obliterated, as well as Seraph on that one. I think Jackson Samsel was trying to slow up, get sent to the cheap seats here at Daytona. Does he meet our good friend outside wall? Just ever, inside wall, but yeah, just ever so slightly. And Michael Boyles is going to take a tow back to pit road. He is most likely done and out of this one. Michael Keithley saying, drive like you have a fast repair. This is going to be our third caution of the night. I think we've whittled it down to 12 drivers out on track. See who opts to come down pit road here. That'll be a good telltale sign of who might have damage. Blake Hoppy and Nick Seraph are going to come down pit road under their own accord. Power to Talent up 9 spots. Your race leader. Other hard charger, AJ Maglio, sitting 6th in the 03 machine, also up 9 positions. For our third caution of the night, go ahead and take your bets in the YouTube side of the broadcast. Will we be using our one of several? We have 3 green-white checker attempts available, so overtime conditions. Let us know on the YouTube side of the broadcast. Do you think we're going to be seeing those green-white checkers used tonight? Or are we going to be able to finish this thing up under regular time racing? Front row, Tyler to Talent, Michael Gudger. Second row, Kenny Trouton, Corey Harville. Third row, Brian Brobst and AJ Maglio. It's going to be 5 laps left to go once that iRacing safety truck makes its way down pit road. Michael Keithley thinking it's going to be 2 green-white checker attempts used. John DeTalent thinking at least 1 more caution, which I believe would put us into that green-white checker overtime conditions. And let's see as we get fired back up. Tyler DeTalent's going to try and make that number 29 machine very, very wide here, but Michael Gudger may have something for him, that 64. It's anybody's guess how this is going to break down as Brian Brobst has a big lag spike there, the number 11, riding third on the inside line. This is going to be very, very interesting to see how it breaks down. Michael Gudger in the middle, 3 wide. I think that's the number 57, yes, of Jackson Samsel up on the high side, getting a push from the 31, which is actually Blake Hoppy's number 15 machine. Michael Gudger, no draft support in the middle line, though, as he's going to get swallowed up by the field. Tyler DeTalent giving it everything he's got on that inside line. Very, very defensive. Now it's going to be a big question. Can that outside line get some pace going? Looks like the middle group is starting to form up with about 3 drivers as well, led by Brian Brobst in the middle there. Now, if we can take the white flag without another incident, we will not use our green-white checker attempts, but not super optimistic. We haven't run out of laps to destroy some perfectly good race trucks by the time it's all said and done. As we are still hinting at 3 wide, but the outside line has fallen back here. They're going to hop in that middle, no low groove. Everybody trying to get sorted up here. 3 laps left to go as Tyler DeTalent leads the field here at Talladega. A big run from Brian Brobst on the outside line, though. Pulls up alongside Kenny Trouton's number 25 machine. Does he have the pace with Michael Gudger pushing that 64 machine to push Brobst forward and try and take over a race lead here? Oh, they're getting a little bit out of sorts on the backstretch here at Talladega. Brobst trying to work that side draft against Trouton. DeTalent thinking, you know what, up front might be the safest place I can be right now. Two laps left to go. The white flag will be out next time by. Another blink there from Hoppy up high. DeTalent gets a push from the number 25 of Trouton mid-corner. Gotta be careful. Very easy to upset these trucks enough to send your friends careening around. Here comes the big push from the inside line. Michael Gudger giving a shove to Brian Brobst. Brobst has a long way to go, though, if he wants to try and get around DeTalent, who's trying to make that number 29 machine about 2.5 trucks wide. Making their way through turns 3 and 4. That is Kenny Trouton's 25 machine going up to the high side. Trouton's got a run here. Dropping back down low in front of the 29 of DeTalent. Brian Brobst still up on the high side. The white flag is out. We will not use our green-white checker attempts. Brian Brobst takes over the race lead, dropping down the inside line. Gets a shove from both sides. Gudger and Trouton leaning on that number 11 of Brobst. Brobst currently up 10 spots, but Gudger has a big run up the outside line as well. And here we go. We're going to wad some trucks up. That was Tyler DeTalent involved in that. No, it wasn't. Excuse me. That was not DeTalent. The DeTalent able to get through that one. Right now it's Michael Gudger up front, and Michael Gudger's going to get spun. Michael Gudger gets sent to the cheap seats. Brian Brobst takes over the race lead, and Brian Brobst is going to get crashed. Everybody has run out of ability. Nick Seraph is going to somehow skate by, taking the win here at Talladega. Jackson Samsel is going to get second, and no way. Dustin Bally got fourth, backwards. It's going to be Blake Hoppy somehow gets third. We're going to have to check the results on this one. I'm not so sure about that. But right now it's showing Seraph, Samsel, and Hoppy your top three. I think that's very well described by Michael Keithley. That was a finish. He definitely sacrificed some body work to the iRacing gods here tonight. We're going to try and get these drivers up here into victory lane. And one of the wildest race finishes I've ever seen. We're going to get these drivers up here. Let's going to start things off with Blake Hoppy, the number 23 machine. It says the number 23 in Discord, 15 in live timing, 31 on the side of the car, but most importantly, able to bring it home here and get a third and a wild finish here at Talladega.
Yeah, that last lap was pretty nuts.
Now, I guess that raises the age-old question, would you rather be lucky or good? Because it seemed like both went your way. You did have some big blinking issues. We saw you kind of hop out of the line at one point, letting the field by, but still able to overcome and put yourself in a great position at the end of this thing.
Yeah, some of the guys let me know I was blinking, so I jumped out there and just rode in the back. Thought that was going to be best to avoid some wrecks, and I guess that ended up being true. So I guess kind of both just luck and patience, I guess.
Yeah, now how do you decide in the super speedway race when to hang back and when to finally push towards the front?
I think you just got to be there on that last lap. We were trying to push the 29 up there. He's running for the championship, so we were trying to just get him in line and push him up there. And I guess you just gotta. That's where that luck comes in. You just got to be in the right place at the right time.
Well, Blake, that was a ton of fun to watch for both myself and the fans. Before I let you sign off and celebrate with the team, who do you want to give a shout out to that helps make this third possible for you?
I want to shout out the team. Tyler, Dustin, Corey, Tom all helped out a lot tonight. Evil Empire, Backmarkers, Brobst Enterprises, Robert and Brian put on all this show for us all, and I hope you up in the booth had fun too. I mean, gotta shout you out also.
Awesome. Couldn't do it without you guys. Blake, congratulations on third, and hope to have you back up here next week, my friend.
Thanks, man. I hope you had fun.
Thank you, sir. That was Blake Hoppy finishing in third. Up next, we're going to get Jackson Samsel, the number 57 machine. Jackson able to come through at the end, kind of bruised, kind of battered, but up 9 spots and still able to bring home a second place here at Talladega.
Well, I wanted to win, but if I couldn't get the win, it's best for a teammate to get the win and finish second. So at the end of the day, I'm happy with the result. Just kind of heartbreak on the last lap. I saw the gap. I saw him slide up just a lane, and I took it, and then there was some sandwiching, and I found myself going down the short stretch for the trioval with a LSU car on top of me, and I feel like if I would have gotten rid of him before, I maybe would have been able to win it with what happened for the lead.
Yeah, we're
But
watching the replay, and yeah, that is a long time to see an LSU truck parked on top of you. Can't do anything for the aerodynamics here at Talladega.
no, that has to add a little bit of drag.
No kidding. But so Jackson, I mean, you saw an opening, you went for the gap, things kind of went poorly, but how are you able to avoid it? Look like you almost hit the commitment cones onto pit road, and you're able to kind of swing back out onto the hot track and get back on the tarmac and hammer down there.
I wasn't even thinking about the commitment cone. I was more worried about getting the LSU car away from me. And yeah, I'm looking at it now. I barely missed it. So that would have been a hurtful little penalty had I hit that cone. But
And Jackson,
hindsight's 2020.
and one more note, if that would have went worse, you almost got beat by two trucks going backwards on the start-finish line straight. Not sure if you noticed that as well.
Oh no.
Yeah, something
Who was
for
going backwards?
I believe one of them was Dustin Bally. I'm not quite sure about the other, but it was
Oh, I see it.
absolutely wild finish. But Jackson able to bring it home here in second. That number 57 machine up 9 spots. So you got to be relatively pleased, all things considered. Before I let you go, celebrate with the rest of the hooligans. Who do you want to give a shout out to that helps make it happen for you?
Oh, Brian, he helps this league a lot. There's a ton of other partners who help us, and definitely want to thank them. But Brian, for this series specifically, helps out, and I just saw what happened to him on the last lap, and that's kind of disappointing for him. But it's been a fun season so far, and I'm enjoying it. We'll take a P2 from here. Move on.
Awesome. It was a lot of fun watching you guys out there tonight, Jackson. Congratulations on second, and hope to have you back next week.
Thank you for the broadcast.
Thank you, sir. That was Jackson Samsel bringing it home in second. But up next, the man, the myth, the legend, Nick Seraph, the number 523 hard charger, up 12 positions and led the most important lap, the last one, when we saw so many drivers having to go home early and disappointed here at Talladega.
Yeah, that was one of the craziest finishes I've been a part of in a while.
Yeah, I mean, we're watching the replay now, and kind of, I mean, really, it just like you were along for the ride at that point. I'd love to say, I mean, I'm sure you're a super talented driver, but man, that was a lot of luck that just kind of fell your way on that lap.
Yeah, I was fully content with just riding to the finish. And then when those guys got together and wrecked, I was like, oh man, I had such a run on Brian. I'm like, I got to take it. I need the points. And then I saw Dustin coming, and I'm like, oh man, Dustin's a hard guy to beat. I don't care what car you're in, he's hard to beat. And I was driving for everything I had to keep him to my outside, and then we were catching Brian, and I was like, man, something's got to go right here because I gotta get by these guys. And then we all just like locked together, and somehow I just came out better on the other end. That was crazy. That was wild. I don't know how I saved it through the grass. I thought I was going around.
Yeah, now, Nick, while that's on unfolding, at what point did you realize you're going from, hey, let's follow along, we'll just kind of let things settle out, to, oh, I have a chance of winning this thing now?
Right in the middle of 3 and 4 when that wreck happened, I saw them get together, and it kind of left me and Brian by ourselves in the bottom, and I was like, I was just stuck in his draft, and I'm like, oh, I got a shot here. And I just hammered down and tried sucking up to him as best I could. And then, like I said, I saw Dustin, and I was like, oh no. But nothing was keeping me from that first. This is my first Backmarkers win, first win with Impact Racing. So it was wild. I was doing everything I could to come out better on the other end.
Well, Nick, you guys put on a great show. I know you and the team are absolutely ecstatic for that first Backmarkers win. I mean, the fans were going crazy. I was losing up here in the broadcast booth. So what a great race all the way around. And Nick, for the first time, and definitely one of many to come, you've got the privilege, the pleasure, the final send-offs of the night. Who do you want to give a shout to that helps make this first win possible for you?
Oh man, I don't know where to start, but definitely the guys at Impact Racing, Jackson, Michael, Adam Boyles, Kenny Trotman, all the guys, Peter Stewart, the guy that put the league on, Brobst Enterprises, for sponsoring the league. Definitely my wife, my mom and dad are probably watching. My brother's actually here with me home from the military, so he got to watch it firsthand. So man, the list goes on. Rackley War Shocks, Bass Pro, Tracker Boots. I can go on and on. Steve Loving for the paint job. This is crazy. This is awesome.
Well, awesome, Nick. Congratulations. I know how sweet that first win is. Again, hopefully you got some momentum built up. We'll have you back up here more often in the near future. And again, congratulations on a huge win here tonight.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, and hopefully there's more to come.
Yes, sir. And that was Nick Serif bringing home the win here. His first ever win here at the Backmarkers Racing League Brobst Enterprise Truck Series. He was accompanied by Jackson Samsel in second and Blake Hoppy rounding out the top three. On behalf of the Brobst Enterprise Truck Series, as well as Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, thank you all so much to the fans, friends, and family tuning in, supporting the league, supporting the drivers, as well as supporting the broadcast. My name has been James East, and I'll see you at the next one. Have a great night, everybody.